Do you see the screen, guys? Can you see the
Yes,
R
sir.
screen? Okay. So for today, we're going to continue our discussion on data visualization using R. Before you analyze your data, before you do any statistical analysis on any data, it's important that you know how to visualize it. So R provides us very powerful tools in data visualization. Okay, so last time we were working on a data set that comes from this package NYC Flights 2013. So I hope that you have run this. I hope you have made these packages available through the library function. Okay, and we said that the R makes use particularly ggplot2, the package makes use of a theoretical framework for data visualization called the grammar of graphics, which was formulated by Wilkinson, Leland Wilkinson. So we say that grammar of graphics uses a particular grammar as far as data visualization is concerned. And it comes up with, it uses several layering in order to plot our data. So we were looking at the first three layers, the most important ones, the data layer, the aesthetic layer, and the geom layer. So we use this as to plot data sets in R. Okay, and we had some examples last time. So let's quickly review the examples that we had. We said that we were going to look at five examples of plots. Maybe I'm going to add a few more before we go to the next lesson. So we access the NYC Flights package, and from the NYC Flights package, we have several data sets. One of which is the flights data. So I hope you have already accessed this flights. So if you have already run this code, data flights, then this it should appear here. Okay, if you click this, so this is our flights data set. Okay, there are 15 variables, 1 to 15. Okay, the connection to my microphone is faulty. Okay, so sorry. Okay, so 15 variables all in all, 300 more than 336 observations or rows. Okay, so we were looking at this last time. The variables are, you have the year, you have the month, the day, the departure time, the scheduled departure time. We also looked at the delays as far as departure and delays as far as arrival is concerned. Then what airline was this carrier, the flight number, and some other pertinent data. You have the origin. New York City has three airports. So you have, this is Newark, this is LaGuardia Airport, and this is JFK. And then destination, okay, how many minutes was the travel, air time, the distance in miles, I think. Okay, and the travel time, 5 hours, 15 minutes, etc. Okay, so that's our flights data set. Going back to our code, okay, the view function, guys, allows us to show it in a spreadsheet, which I just showed you a few moments ago, and then we can ask R to print the uh, uh, the uh, the first X number of rows. In this case, I ask R to print the first 10 rows. If we don't write anything here, the default will be 6. So like that. If I run this, so it will give us the first 6. Okay, and then the tail function will give us the last 6. So let me close this. All right, then we can, okay, we can get the structure, which gives us a description of our data set. If I run this structure flights, then it will give us, it will tell us that this is a table, 336 plus rows times 19. Okay, why 19? 19 rows, bakit 19 columns, bakit 19? Let me count. Sorry. It's not 15, guys. It's only showing 15. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So my apologies a while ago. It's not 15 variables. It's 19 variables. It says here that it's only showing 15. But if we extend this, there are 19. Okay, sorry for that. So this is the correct one. There are 19 variables, 19 columns, and 336 rows, and they are identified here. And the type of data is also enumerated. Year is integer. It should be at time data, that's time, but we'll handle that later on. Okay, so you have the elements of your data flights. Okay, we can also look at it from the glimpse function. Okay, this is also another way to look at it. Okay, 336 rows, 19 columns. Okay, and it gives us the type of data also, integer, double, means that it has decimals. Okay, then character, the rest are character, and then this one is date and time. Okay, so we also looked at another function, the names. Yan, sabi natin, it will identify the names of the different variables there. Okay, so we also learned last time how to use a data wrangling package, which is dplyr, and we learned how to uh, subset our data. So here we generated another object, Alaska flights, and that's coming from the flights data set. And what did you say was this, guys? What's the name of this? This percentage greater than percentage. What do you call that? That's your, alala nyo,
Pipe
guys?
operator. So,
Yeah, that's our pipe operator. No? Ito yan. Pipe operator siya. No? And ginagamit siya, parang it's like a tube, okay, where you only parang ano siya, parang filter, but it's actually a filter. That's why we're using filter function here. So ang sabi natin, ang gusto lang natin dito yung AS is Alaska Airlines. Okay, so you see how very powerful this dplyr package also. Yun ang magiging lesson natin, guys, after data visualization, yung data manipulation. Okay, so this code, guys, will create an object called Alaska Flights. Rinan ko na to kanina, guys, yung binuksan ko, kaya I will not run this anymore. Alaska Flights has 714 observations. It means that out of the 336,000 observations from flights, 714 dun yung ang carrier Alaska Airlines. No? 19 variables pa rin. So if I access that, you'll see that there are only 714 entries. Okay? All right, so let's go back to our code. Now that we have run that, okay, by the way, when you write your pipe operator, instead of typing 3 characters, percentage and greater than the percentage, the shortcut is Control-Shift-M. Okay, that's a faster way to write that pipe operator. Okay, last time we learned first how to establish the relationship between bivariate data natin. Pag sinabi bivariate, dalawang variables to. And we can use a scatter plot in order to display the relationship between two quantitative or numerical variables. So pag nagpa-plot tayo ng numerical or quantitative variables, dalawang variables, maganda guys kung ang gagamitin natin si scatter plot. Okay, so let's, ang ginawa natin last time guys, sabi natin si ggplot, ito yung function niya, ggplot, then you start with the data. Ito yung first layer natin. No? Okay, data is equal to Alaska flights, and then yung susunod yung mapping. Okay, yung mapping, we can put there many parts, no? Kaso ang dito ang nilalagay lang muna natin yung x-axis at yung y-axis. We're using the Alaska flights, ito, and then gusto natin i-plot yung departure delay at saka arrival delay. Okay, we have done this before. If we run this, guys, okay, ang mangyayari, blank, parang white canvas lang. Bakit? Kasi hindi pa natin dinidefine kung ano yung third layer, which is the type of geometric object. No? So ito, dalawang layers lang yung data natin at saka yung aesthetic natin. Okay? And it will not plot to us, it will not give us a plot that displays the geometric point, which we did here last time. So ganun din guys yung ano natin, yung data. Take note here guys, tinanggal ko na yung data is equal to, understandable naman yon. But habang ano pa, while you're starting it, it's good practice also to write data first. So sulat ko dito, data is equal to. Tapos yung mapping natin, ganun pa rin, departure delay at saka arrival delay. And then we include here yung geom point. Now take note guys that the plus should always be at the end of a line. No? Hindi siya pwede dito sa beginning. So running this guys, we got this. Diba? Ito yung na-plot natin. Okay, so we see that the concentration of the data seems to be here, dito sa zero delay, tsaka zero arrival, at saka yung a few minutes before the scheduled delay and the arrival time. No? Okay. Now, ang problema nga lang natin dito, sabi natin, hindi natin masyado makita na yung ano kasi nag-congregate na siya dito. That's why last time, what we did was to, we also plotted it using the geom smooth. The geom smooth will give us a line. Okay, yan yung line natin. So we did that last time. Okay, and then, sabi natin, ang problem natin doon, overplotted siya. Ibig sabihin, the points are on top of each other, kaya hindi siya masyado makita. So there are two ways that we learned last time in order to address yung overplotting. Okay, one way is the use of, alala nyo, yung transparency, which is your alpha, no? Yung na ginamit natin last time. So sabi natin si alpha ranges from 0 up to 1. Okay, where 0 is wala, parang zero visibility na 'yan, no? And 1 is yung parang kanina lang na talagang dark point. So here where we experimented on using an alpha of 0.05, ibig sabihin i-gray out lang ng konti yung ano, yung points natin. That's why we're having this, no? Ito yung alpha, yung transparency na 5%. Had we used an alpha equal to 1, babalik tayo dun sa original natin. Yun din yun, no? Kasi 100% din yun. Had we used 0, guys, wala tayong makikita, no? Kasi invisible na yun. Okay? So you can experiment on this about 0.1. Okay. All right? So different alphas will give us different transparencies. Okay? Importante guys, yung alpha natin, you can use yung transparency na alpha na to so that we can avoid yung overplotting, yung one on top of each other. Okay, medyo mas makikita natin kung saan ba yung nagkakaroon ng concentration ng overplotting natin. Okay, then sorry guys, I'm reviewing this kasi Yung iba sa inyo were not able to attend last time, so at least may ano kayo, may guidance pa rin. No? Anyway, attendance was not required last Friday. Okay, so how about jitter, guys? Sabi natin, si jitter naman, ang ginagawa niyan, i-shake niya ng konti yung data natin. Okay, depende dun sa height at saka weight na ilalagay natin. Okay, this one, guys, sorry I haven't uploaded this. It's just a plot of the difference kung regular ginagamit versus jitter. Anyway, makikita din naman natin dito. Nakita natin dito last time. Okay, so here what we did was to ginamit natin geom jitter. So pareho pa rin yung ano natin yung layers natin, si data pa rin Alaska flights. Tapos yung aesthetic natin, notice guys dito, tinanggal natin si mapping, no? Pwede din yan. So the shortcut is A-step na kagad. Hindi na natin itatype yung mapping. Mapping is equal to. And then, geom jitter. No? Width is equal to 30 and height is equal to 30. Parang pixel siya na igagalaw yung width tapos yung height ng 30. I'm not sure about the dimension. Mukhang parang pixels lang yan, no? Okay, so you can see here guys na medyo hindi na siya, medyo naggalaw yung mga points, no? Kaya they split a bit. Okay. Pag ginawa natin yung width 0 at saka height 0, ano kaya mangyayari guys? If you run this, back to the original kasi para hindi natin siya jitter. Pag ganito naman guys, masyado naman yan, yung 100. Okay? Di ba? Parang ano na, parang ibang data na, no? Masyadong malaki na yung pag-jitter sa kanya. So, we have to choose a point na medyo hindi masyadong malaki para hindi naman mumukhang masyadong ginalaw yung data. Okay? I'm using 2020 here. Okay, so medyo ano pa rin, ano? Medyo kita pa rin natin overplotting. But of course, you can experiment on this. Okay? 30. Balik ko sa dati kanina. Then I leave you guys to experiment on the width and the height. But what's important, guys, is that the jitter will shake. It will shake our data. No? Now, pwede din natin i-combine, guys. Kanina, yung alpha, linagay natin sa geom point. Yung geom jitter, point din yan, no? Kaso nga lang, sinasabi natin, it's a geom point, pero i-jitter niya, igalaw niya. So here we're combining yung jitter natin at saka yung alpha. So tingnan natin, transparency and jitter. Alright, there. Okay? Okay, are there any questions so far? Okay, this is just a review of what we have discussed last time. By the way, guys, our first quiz will be on Wednesday. Everything that will be able to reach up to this point. So kasama yung Excel at saka yung R. There will be two parts. The first part is sa classroom natin. It will be mostly multiple choice and some questions. The other will be take home. Pero yung take home na yon, ano lang guys, hanggang hapon lang, no? So hanggang I'll give you up to the evening. Hindi naman siya masyadong mahaba. I'll just want to make sure that you're comfortable using R. So parang bonus point siya para pandagdag natin sa points natin. Is that okay with you guys? Kasi ang experience ko minsan medyo mababa dun sa multiple choice, so pandagdag natin, ha? Kindly type here yes kung okay sa inyo yan. Sa chat, guys. Okay. Thank you. Alright, that's good. That's good. Para sa inyo yun, guys, it's not that I want it to make difficult for you, hindi. On the contrary, practice yun at saka pang bonus point sa inyo. Alam niyo naman at this point in time, medyo mahirap talaga yung natin, yung situation natin. Ako nahihirapan din ako kasi as I said, I think I mentioned to you that I'm more of a people person. I would want to really relate and connect to my students, which I can't possibly do here. Ang nakikita nyo lang sa akin yung boses ko, nakikita ko lang sa inyo pag nag-chat kayo dyan, pag nagre-reply kayo. So these things are really a challenge to us at this time. We have to just bear with it until such time na mag-normalize ulit. Alright, line graphs guys. Kailan ginagamit yung line graphs? Line graphs, ginagamit yan kung may sequencing yung data natin. Kunyari, data na sequential or may ordering, no? Can be yung time, okay? Can be dates. Let's say, for example, we're plotting the GDP of a country on a yearly basis. Maganda i-line graph yan kasi hindi naman pwedeng, kunyari, nag-start ng 1950 tapos up to 2020. Hindi pa pwedeng baguhin natin yung order, no? Hindi pa pwedeng year 2000 muna, tapos to 2020, tapos 1960. Okay? Kung baga randomize, hindi pa pwedeng ganon. Kasi gusto natin makita yung sequencing, no? Pag ganon guys, yung data natin, mas magandang line graphs ang gamitin natin. Ang tawag dyan, guys, time series plots. No? Time series plots. Okay. Now, in-access natin si weather. Si weather dataset, guys, galing din yan sa ano? Galing din yan kay NYC Flights, yung package na yun. So what we did was to get that data, okay? And then view natin siya at saka, I think, yeah, nag-glimpse din tayo niyan. So if you haven't run this, guys, pakirun to yung data weather, view weather, glimpse weather. Sa akin, na-run ko na yan. How do I know na na-run ko na yan, guys? Nasa observations na siya. Andito na siya. And it consists of 26,000 observations, 15 variables. So let me just run the glimpse. Okay, so ito yung laman niya, origin, year, month, etc. No? Hanggang time R. Okay? May questions? Okay. None so far. All right. So let's create an object. Okay? Let's create an object called early January weather. Sabi natin, ito, ang origin EWR. Okay, take note that the weather data, guys, galing to sa NYC Flights. Ibig sabihin, NYC din to, yung New York City. Tapos, asan ba dito yung may origin? Asan yung origin dito sa weather? Visibility. Wala bang origin dito? Ito, sorry, nasa first ano pala. So origin, guys, yung tatlong airports pa rin to, no, sa sa New York. Eh, di ba nung okay, sandali. I-glimpse muna natin ulit. Tapos siguro summary natin. Okay, summary. Hindi na naka-identify character siya. Okay. Okay. Anyway, so si weather, guys, yung origin niya, tatlo din yan, yung Newark, yung LaGuardia at saka yung JFK. Okay, so ang gagawin natin dito, ang gusto natin yung coming from Newark lang, origin is EWR, yung January lang, at saka from January 1 up to 15. And we call this object early January weather. So sabi natin, we're going to use a pipe operator. So the data, we're going to get it is weather. And then, sabi natin, ano ibig sabihin ito? How do you read this? And then. And then, if you filter niya, where the origin is EWR, and the month, so end, the month is equal to 1, and the day is less than or equal to 15. Okay, so another way to write it is this way. Month is equal to 1. Take note yung equal to, double equal to, and then day is equal to 1 up to 15. That will give us the same result. So I won't run this anymore kasi na-run ko na siya. Okay, so ito yon guys. So galing dun sa weather na 26,000 plus observations, 358 yung sa January sa Newark nung from January 1 up to 15. So if I click this, ayan. So lahat yan EWR, lahat yan day from January 1 hanggang just checking hanggang 15, no? Lahat EWR. Lahat ng month 1, 1 up to 15. So tama yung pag-filter natin guys, no? So just checking if tama yung pag-filter natin. Okay, so very quickly guys, kasi nagawa na natin to last time. So ipa-plot natin ngayon si ang data natin si early January weather, yung create lang natin na object. Ang x natin time r, okay? Yung x sa x natin ilalagay guys yung yung data na na may sequencing. Time r. Again, I'll just click this again. Ito yung time r guys, no? Time r. Okay, so it will include the day, the year, the month, the day, and the time. So time r, and then sa y natin yung temperature, and then the object that we're going to use is the geometric object is geom line. Okay, so when you run that, you'll get this. Yan. So makikita natin dito yung sequence ng daily January 1 every hour. Okay, so kung January 1 kunyari to, or whatever this date is, kunyari January 2, umabot ng mababang temperature dito. Okay, so sa whole January, you notice the temperature range from mayroong 60 plus, isa, tapos merong mababa din dito na less than 10 yata to, no? Okay, so you see how from January 1 up to January 15, temperature was really fluctuating from below, maybe below uh, below 20 or almost 10. Tapos merong times naman na more than 60. So ganun ka erratic yung nung weather pattern dito sa sa nung January 1 up to 15. Okay, any questions so far guys?
None, sir.
Okay, thank you. Now, bakit natin guys kailangan i-avoid yung line graphs kung wala naman ordering yung yung horizontal axis? Okay, we avoid line graphs kasi ginagamit yung line graphs guys pag may pag may time relationships, pag may sequence, pag may ordering. Pag pag wala namang ordering guys, it doesn't make any sense no, to plot it that way. You're better off using our scatter plot. Okay. So, dyan nagtapos guys yung discussion natin. Okay, so let's continue this. Sabi ko, mag-plot pa kayo, plot a time series of a variable other than temperature for Newark Airport. Okay, so using the early January weather, okay, pwede nating i-plot yung, kung titingnan natin yung natin guys, yung data, one variable we can plot with the time R is pwedeng humidity. Kita nyo, nagbabago-bago yung humidity, the presence of water vapor in the air. On an hourly basis, nagbabago-bago siya. Kahit yung wind direction, pwede din. Or wind speed. So these are or pressure. No? These are variables that we can plot using a line graph with time R as our x-axis. Tingnan natin, nagbabago-bago. Yung plot natin una yung temperature. We can also plot dew point. No? We can also plot humidity. So you notice that, as I said a while ago, every hour nagbabago-bago siya. And also these variables. Okay, so here, okay, wala pang answer yan guys. Mag-insert kayo ng insert, then R, and we can type this. Pwede yung i-copy to, yung ggplot. Tapos yung Y natin, subukan natin si humidity. Let's plot humidity. Of course, you can use the other variables. Okay, so I'll give you a few seconds to do that. And then paki-plot. Okay, so if I run this, so you see here guys, kita natin yung humidity din, ano? Varying through across time. Okay, so you can also plot the other data points, the other variables, which if you notice, also varies with respect to time, wind direction, okay, wind speed, etc. Okay, any questions guys? So tandaan natin na ang ginagamit natin yung line graph guys kapag yung data natin is sequential or based on time. Ang ginagamit natin guys yung x-axis natin yung time and then yung y-axis natin yung data natin. Okay. So, reminder lang guys, ang just like scatter plot, si line graph, numerical variables yung pinaplot natin. And as I mentioned a while ago, mas magandang line graph kaysa scatter plot pag may inherent ordering or sequencing yung natin, yung data natin. And the time frame is the one that's placed on the x-axis. Okay, third, histogram. Okay. Okay, pag isa lang guys ang pinaplot natin, isang numerical lang, then we don't use of course yung scatter plot kasi ang scatter plot bivariate yan, dalawang variables. Pag univariate guys, pag isa lang yung pinaplot natin, then we use histogram, a single numerical variable. Okay, tandaan nyo to ha. Pag single lang yung pinaplot natin, histogram ang ginagamit natin. Okay, so i-consider ulit natin guys yung natin, yung temperature variable natin sa weather. See this? I'm going to weather again guys. Tapos yung temperature natin dito, where's the temp here? Ito, no? Ito. So you notice that the time, the temperature, iba-iba yan, no? Ano ba yung niya? Balik tayo dito. Kunin natin yung summary ng weather guys para makita natin kung summary weather, yung temperature lang ang isa-summarize natin. Okay? If you recall guys, yung dollar sign na to, sinasubset natin yung yung weather. Sabi natin, kunin mo nga yung summary from the weather data frame and then yung temperature lang. So let's run this. Okay, so makikita natin yung minimum natin 10.94 Fahrenheit. Maximum is 100.04 Fahrenheit din. Fahrenheit kasi sa US, Fahrenheit pa rin ginagamit nila. Okay, so ito yung summary dataset ng temperature which is a quantitative variable. So makukuha natin yung minimum, first quartile, median, mean, etc. NA is may isang wrong entry siguro. Okay, so continuing guys, tingnan nyo to. Ang histogram guys, ang ipinapakita niya yung distribution. Ibig sabihin, bibilangin yung yung data natin, bibilangin, tapos i-group yan. Magkakreate ng mga what we call bins, B-I-N-S. Okay? So let's take a look at this. Tingnan natin yung plot natin, ggplot again, and then data, galing sa weather data. Then take note guys yung mapping. Okay? Walang Y dyan, no? Univariate lang to. X, ang aesthetics natin is X is equal to temperature and then plus histogram. Okay? All right. Did you get this? Did you get this, guys?
Yes, sir.
Paki-chat kung yes or no. Kung parehong-pareho tayong nakuha. Yes, okay. All right. Yes. Tapos ano sinabi niya? No? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you guys for your feedback. Salamat. I appreciate that. Okay, ang sabi dito, ang default niya, nag-create si R ng 30 beans. No? So pag bilangin niyo to, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 30 lahat yan, yung beans na yan, yung container. Tapos, inan niya, dinivide niya yung data, group niya into each bin. Tapos binilang niya, so for example, dito lumalabas na, kasi hindi clear dito, no, kung ano yung temperature na to. Itong bin na to, siya yung pinakamarami. Parang between 60 plus something eh, no? Ito yung pinakamarami. Okay? So dun sa data natin, sa temperature, ang pinakamarami dun yung ano, yung 60. And that's not surprising kung titingnan natin guys, yung average niya, yan no, around, ang mean niya, 55.26. So malamang andyan dyan yan, no? Andyan yung concentration ng data natin, 50 plus something. Tapos yung median, yung gitna, halos pareho lang siya, no? Hindi nagkakalayo. Okay, so makikita natin to guys, yung median and mean niya. Makikita natin sa histogram natin yan. Kung saan yung concentration ng data natin dyan. So this is not a good histogram kasi hindi natin makita yung ano, yung delineations ng mga bins natin. So we can improve this by giving a color to your borders. Okay, yung color guys sa histogram, it's not the color of the fill. It's the color of the border. So geom histogram, then we added this facet, color is equal to white. So i-run natin to guys. Okay, so this is a lot better, di ba? Okay, kita natin ano na may separation yung ano yung mga beans natin. So it's a lot better than this one. Okay? All right. Then pwede din natin ibahin guys yung ano yung kulay ng fill natin. Ito yon, fill. Okay? You can experiment with several colors. I'm going to share with you siguro parang glossary of the different colors, a list of the different colors that we can use in R. Nakalimutan ko lang i-share. I'm going to share it. It's a file. I-share ko na lang, no? Ayan. Steel blue. Okay? And you can experiment. You can, ano ba, green. Anong nangyayari pag green yan? Okay. Pangit, ano? Medyo, ano? So, but there's a list, guys. There's a list of kung blue lang, hindi steel blue. Ayan. Ginamit natin kanina. Steel blue ba? Steel blue yata. Ayan. Okay, so we can modify the color a bit. So, masasabi ba natin guys na mas maganda yung nagdagdag pa tayo ng layer? Kasi nagdagdag tayo ng layer ng color at saka fill. And it, for me, it highly improved the quality of the plot. It's really more understandable than this one, than the original one. So the lesson there is that adding layers, guys, can improve the quality or the data visualization. Now, what we can do also is to adjust the bins. Kasi ang default ni R, yung bins natin, 30. So if I plug this, kunyari gawin ko nung 30, no? Ito yung original natin. Yun yung default natin. If I make this 40, okay, if I make that 40, madadagdagan yung bins. Okay, so dumami yung bins, guys. Okay, experiment lang kung gawin yung 100, guys. Okay, masyado ng maraming bins. If I make it 20, yeah. Excuse me. So we can adjust, guys, the plot using the bins. So pwede rin, guys, no? Okay, balik tayo dito. Sagutin natin itong ibang questions na to. Changing the bins from 40 to 30, ano daw yung distribution ng temperature? Ginawa natin 40 po kanina. What does that tell us about the distribution of the temperature? Ano masasabi daw natin dito? Dito yung 55, no? Asa yung 55? Ang hirap ng sabi dito. Ito kasi mean, no? So banda dito yung ano natin. Okay, if we look at the weather, kasi to the 2 decimal, medyo very accurate yung temperature natin, no? Okay, that's what we can say about our temperature. So very accurate siya, so that pag dinagdagan natin binwidth, kita kagad yung ano, yung yung difference niya, guys, between 30 and 40. Ito kasi, ito 40 bins, no? ito, ito 30 bins. So you can notice the the marked difference between the 40 bins and the 30 bins. It just goes to show that medyo very quite accurate yung ano natin, yung data natin to the 2 decimal places kasi, oh. Okay? Alright, then, ano sabi dito? Symmetric ba yung ano natin? Medyo symmetric ba yung weather, yung temperature natin? Taking a look at this. Mukha naman siyang symmetric, no? Symmetric. Mukhang wala naman masyadong mga tails dito sa dulo, sa right side at saka sa left side. So it's generally symmetric yung data natin. So ano daw yung center ng data natin? Well, we have answered that. Ang center natin is, sabi natin kanina, by looking at the summary. Saan yung summary natin? Ito, no? The median and the mean, which are quite close to each other. So medyo naka-align yung mean at saka median natin. So that's our center. Okay, so those are just some questions in order to guide us about understanding the data. Is this data spread out greatly from center? A bit, no? A bit. Nagko-coincide yung mean natin at saka median natin. Tapos wala naman tayo masyadong nakikitang long tail sa right or sa left. Okay, so another way to adjust our histogram is instead of adjusting the bins, ang pwede natin gamitin yung bin width. Yung bin width naman, guys, yun yung length ng mga bins natin. So pag sinabi natin bin width 10, ibig sabihin yung temperature 50 to 60, 61 to 70, magiging ganon, no? So let's run this. Yan. Okay. So nakikita natin to, guys. 25 to, so this should be mga 35, 35 to 45, 45 to 55, 55 to 65, 65 to 75, ganon. Did you get, guys, a difference between bins and the bin width? The bin width will give us yung width ng bins natin. The bins, on the other hand, will give us the number of bins that will be created for your histogram. Is that clear, guys? Paki-chat nga kung yes or no. Kung clear yung bin or bin width. Okay, good. Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you, guys. Salamat. Okay, so we have different ways to look at your plot or histogram. Either use your bins or use your bin width. But what we're saying here is that it's also important to add another layer to your histogram so that your histogram will become clearer and easier to read. All right, so let's take a look at this. Ito importante din to. This is another layer. So sabi ko, this is another layer that we would like to look at, yung facets. Ano naman yung facets? Kasi, guys, yung temperature natin, kung titingnan natin, no, sa weather, yung temperature, okay, pwede natin gawin paano kaya nagdi-differ yung temperature by months, no? Ilang months ba natin? Ang months natin, 12 months, di ba? January to December. Now, we can ask R to plot yung temperature natin by means of months. O kaya kung ano to, kung maraming years tayo, kunyari from 2000 to 2020, we can also facet the temperature by means of year. So, faceting subdivides your data and plots it according to uh, what we want, how we want it to be faceted. So take a look at this, guys. Tingnan natin kung ano yung plot na to. ggplot2 pa rin, ggplot weather pa rin. Okay? Ang pinaplot natin dito sa weather. Si X pa rin ang gusto natin, temperature. And we're using histogram. Tapos dito ang ginagamit natin na width is 5. Ibig sabihin yung pagplot ng temperature by 5 degrees each, yung width niya. And then yung color niya white. And then take note of this. May panibagong layer tayo dinadagdag, facet underscore wrap, and it's tilde, then month. Okay? Tilde month. Okay, so run natin to. Okay, there you go. Okay, do you have this output, guys? So you now have a plot where temperature is plotted. Ang beam width na ginamit tigfa 5 na tigfa 5 na 5 degrees, no? By the way, guys, you can actually plot this. Copy natin to, Control C. Tapos dito natin siya i-plot sa console. Control Enter. And then lalabas dito sa plot siya. No? Yan. Yan. Okay? And then you can zoom it. Tapos pwede nyo i-copy paste to. You can save it, save image, copy image. Yeah. It's better to copy the image pag dito siya rinan sa plots, no? Dito siya rinan sa console. You can also actually export it, save it as image or copy to clipboard, parang yung kanina, no? Okay, then you can adjust. You can adjust it. All right. So those are some features that you can use. Okay, so saan na tayo? Dito na tayo sa no? Dito tayo sa sa plot natin, histogram natin ng temperature by month. Okay, what do these numbers mean? Itong 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What are they, guys?
Yung first month.
Okay, yung mga month siya, no? Tapos ito, what are these? Itong mga numbers dito. Temperature yan, no? They're the temperature. Okay, so balik na tayo dito, no? Okay, so let's answer some questions here. Actually, guys, pwede rin nating pwede rin nating i-vary yung pag-plot natin, okay, by defining the number of rows and columns. So since there are 6 elements here, 6 months, kung gusto niyo kunyari na ang rows natin dalawa lang, okay, kunyari gawin natin dalawa dito, number of rows is 2. Same lahat ng natin, tapos sinabi lang natin n row is equal to 2. Run natin yan. Then, okay, sana. Run. Yan. So what do we have here? Okay, so you have only two layers, no? 2 rows here. Okay, so pwede natin ma-modify yon. Yung kanina. Kanina kasi ang rows natin, ilang rows natin? 3 ba? 3 yata. I think it's 3 rows. Yan. 3 rows. Or you can make it 4 rows, etc. So 23 months siya. Okay? Balik ko sa 3 rows. Okay, so in-answer na natin iba dito, guys, no? Yung 1 to 12. Okay. Okay, let's take a look at some ano yung mga data dito na medyo what can we say about our data here? Pinat yung temperature by month. Yung histogram niya. Did I write some questions here? What other things do you notice about this faceted plot? Okay, sino medyo yung ano dito? Sino yung medyo yung variability ng temperature niya medyo maliit? Do you see
There's
any?
a 8.
Yeah, correct. No, yung 8. Sino yun? Who's that?
Anton, sir.
Anton, thank you. That's good. Anton, thank you. You're correct, no? Bakit naging 8? Kasi 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sino yung 6 lang yung ano niya, oh? 6 lang yung beans niya, no? Tapos yung temperature niya nag-range from 50 plus up to mga 80 plus. So yung minimum at saka maximum niya maliit lang yung range ng values niya. While sa January, guys, dito 25 may andito yung 10 yata to no? Around 10. Tapos gandito siya so mga 60 plus, no? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 yung beans niya dito. No? So, pati si January, no? Ito yung mga malalamig na months, no, guys. Yung maiinit na mga months naman, itong si August, umabot ng ng 60. Although si July din, no? May umabot na 100 siya dito. So we can see, guys, yung differences in the months. Kahit si March, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, ganun din, no? Si March din, ranging from mga 25 up to ito yung pinaka mga normal, yung summer months nila. Okay, so you can see the differences in your data. Medyo may mga malalamig itong si January. Okay, kasi umaabot ng less than 25, no? Okay. So we can see from here we can see some differences in our data based on the kasi nakapag-facet tayo, nakita natin. Now, pwede pa ba ma-facet natin yung by ano pa kayang pwede natin i-facet? Magiging useful ba, guys, kung okay, tingnan natin Paano kung by day? Pwede ba 'yon? Ilan days ba, guys? Thirty days? Magiging useful ba kung tingnan natin let's try. So let's ito ang baguhin natin dito. This one, tilde. What if this was day? Okay. Okay, what do you say about this, guys? May gamit ba to? Kung finaset natin by day?
Sir, wala.
Bakit, Anton?
Because if you were to consider it by day, there won't really be an effect since ibang season siya, sir, tsaka ibang months siya.
Yeah, oo, tama. Ang ginawa natin dyan, lahat ng kunyari, lahat ng 1 January, February, March, April, May, pinagsama-sama natin. No? Unless we have reason to believe that the day of the month differs. No? Kunyari may ganung phenomena na tuwing January 1 o February 1 o March 1, first day of the month, nagbabago yung weather, then okay i-plot to. No? Pero pag wala naman guys, it's more of the month, no? Not of the day, then useless to. It won't give us that much information. Okay? Got me guys? So be careful when you facet, no? May mga pagpa-plot na faceting na very important. Tapos may mga pagpa-faceting naman na it will generate ridiculous plots or nonsense or wala namang gamit. Katulad nito guys, walang gamit to. As compared to, ibabalik ko na to sa month, no? Kung month, very logical pa kasi makikita natin yung behavior ng weather on a monthly basis. Okay? So that's more meaningful. All right. Any questions, guys? Okay, we have time to at least start with the next one. Nag-post ako, guys, ng file. Continuation to ng dinidiscuss natin. Okay, kindly access that. Pakibuksan. So far, ano yung mga plots pa lang natin, guys? Class, ano yung mga plots pa lang nakuha natin? Scatter plot. We use scatter plot pag we're plotting bivariate data, numerical data. And then line graphs, bivariate din yan. Pero yung isang data natin, may sequencing. Third, histogram. Histogram, univariate lang. Okay? Isang variable lang. The fourth one that we're going to consider is our box plots, no? Box plots. Okay, meron na-access yun na guys. Paki-chat nga kung na-access yun na yung R file, yung R markdown file which I shared with you, nasa modules natin. Okay, good. Good. The rest. Yung mga hindi pa nakaka-access, I'll give you a few more seconds to access that. Okay? Sige. So continuation lang to guys ng hindi na natin kailangan i-run to guys kasi naran na natin kanina yung library. Okay, so let's take a look at our fourth plot, box plot. Okay, so sabi natin, di ba, yung faceted histogram, we're able to compare yung distribution ng numerical variables split by the values of another variable type. Yung case natin kanina, yung temperature, in-split natin by temperature split by months. No? If we were looking at, for example, may mga countries kunyari doon, pwede natin i-facet by country. Makikita natin yung temperature by countries kung meron, no? Okay. Thank you, Hans. All right. Now, let's go to the fourth graph that we're looking at. And this is the box plot. Now, yung box plot, guys, ginagamit yan para graphically ipakita yung 5-number summary, no? Yung minimum, yung maximum, yung first quartile, second quartile, which is the median, yung mean, third quartile, which is your 75th percentile. So to give a graphic visualization of that, ang gagamitin natin box plot. So necessarily, anong klaseng variable guys ang pwedeng gamitin ng box plot? Anong klaseng data? What data type guys can we use? Anyone? Pwede ba tayo mag 5-number summary ng isang ng isang character. Pag data natin, character, pwede ba natin gawing ano yun? Kunyari, gender, male, female. O kaya, year level, frosh, sophomore. Pwede ba natin i-5 number summary yun? Pwede ba natin kunin yung minimum, maximum? Hindi, no? So yung box plot, quantitative variable din ang pwede natin gamitin dyan, no? Okay? Clear yun? Kasi yung quantitative lang naman ang pwede natin gawa ng 5 number summary. Okay, so let's go now. Okay. We're going to use, tingnan nyo ggplot, still going to use data yung weather natin. Hindi natin i-run to kasi naran natin to kanina. Inulit ko lang to kasi in case na hindi tayo umabot ngayon dito, at least for the next day, nakasulat na, no? Okay, mapping month. Okay, imamap natin sa month and then temperature. Okay, let's see. Let's see what happens. Geom box plot. Run natin to. Okay, ano nangyari guys? Ano nangyari? Temperature, no? Ito. Tapos yung month. Ano ba yung months natin? Di ba 1 to 12 yan? Right?
Yes, sir.
So, but this is not the plot that we want. No? Hindi yan ang gusto natin. Gusto natin ma-plot siya on a monthly basis. Okay? Yung per month, kung ano yung minimum, maximum, etc. nila, yung 5 number summary. So, what do we have to do, guys? Kasi, kung titingnan natin yung ano natin, okay, ano bang klaseng data natin si month? Anong klaseng data? Asa yung summary natin? I-summarize ulit natin si weather, tingnan natin. Glimpse, no? Glimpse, weather. Run natin tong glimpse weather dito. Asa na si weather? Weather is, and the temperature pala. No, sorry. Weather is, hindi, sorry. Month pala, month. Ang tinitingnan natin si month, guys, no? Weather is a data frame. Ang month natin, guys, okay, si month natin, integer, no? Quantitative. Pero hindi natin gusto si month quantitative. Gusto natin kay month, ano siya? Factor siya, guys. Ibig sabihin, yung 1 dyan, it refers to a factor January, yung 2, February, etc. So we have to modify, guys. We have to convert our month into a factor so that when we plot this for the box plot, tama na yung pag-plot natin. So sige, gawin natin yun, guys. So tingnan nyo to. So I'm creating, sa weather, guys, yung, di ba sa weather may month dyan? Weather. Ito yung month. What I'm going to do is that, sorry, dito na pala tayo. Kay weather na month, i-convert natin siya as a factor. Okay? Weather month, as that factor, yung weather month. So yung code na to, guys, i-convert si month from an integer to a factor. Kaya pag inulit natin glimpse, then weather. Okay. So let's run this. So first, ang gagawin dito, si weather, guys, yung data frame natin, in particular, yung month variable, gagawin daw na factor. Yan. Si weather month, gagawin factor. So take note, ano doon pa rin siya sa weather data frame. And then when we check yung ano natin, yung weather data frame, tingnan natin kung ano mangyayari sa data natin, no? Sa month natin. Run natin to. Okay. What now happened to your month, guys? Factor na siya, no? FCT. Hindi na siya integer. Okay, clear, guys? We don't want the month to be an integer kasi hindi naman natin i-add, subtract yan eh. Ano siya yung, in fact, parang category siya, no? It's a category. Alright, clear yon?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Sige, good. So guys, ito na. Pwede natin i-ano yung box plot, no? Okay, so ang inaano natin guys, ang pinaplot natin dito, si temperature, pero ang ilalagay natin sa x-axis natin yung month. This is another way to do it guys, no? Dito, ang ginawa natin, a static x is equal to factor yung month, no? But since na convert na natin si ano, okay, let's insert another R script here. O dito. Insert tayo guys ng R script dito. Insert R script. I-copy natin to. Copy natin. Now, remember na-convert na natin into a factor, di ba? So, pwede ng x is equal to month. Okay, ito yung shortcut, guys. Well, hindi naman shortcut. Itong code na to will allow us to run our box plot without having to convert yung month natin into a factor. Kasi diniretso niya dito, no? Okay? So, run natin to. Yan. Okay. So, very good visual plot. That's our box plot ng mga temperature natin on a monthly basis, no? Alright. So, sige nga, dapat alam natin to ha. Ano yung first line dito, guys? First line dito sa box na to. What's this, guys? Itong line na to. Kasi di ba ito box plot, or others call this the box and whisker plot. Ano tong first line na to dito? Can you see this one, guys? Sa January, itong line na to. What's that? That's your?
Sir, lowest temperature.
Hindi yung lowest yan. That's not the lowest.
Quartile 1.
That's the first quartile, no? That's percentile 25. So itong box na to, guys, this is your quartile 1, first quartile. Ito, yung nasa gitnang bold line na to, ano to, guys? Quartile 2, or what's a quartile 2?
Median.
Median. Ibig sabihin, 50% of your data for January, okay, is below, ano ba to? 37, mga 37 siguro. Is below 37, and 50% is above 37 degrees. So first quartile, second quartile, or yung median, and third quartile. Third quartile is percentile 75, diba? Alright, ano tong line na to? What's this length? Ano yung length na yan? At saka ano, yung length, yung whisker muna, guys. Ano siya? That's your. So this is quartile 1 minus, what's this, guys? What's the length of this? That's your, first you have to define what your IQR is. What's your IQR? What's your IQR, guys?
Interquartile range.
Interquartile range, that's what? That's the difference between quartile 3 and quartile 1, no? Sulat lang natin dito para may notes tayo. So yung bottom line natin, guys, the bottom line is your Q1, no? Quartile 1 or P25, 25th percentile. Yung middle line is your quartile 2, or this is also your P50 or your median. Okay? And your upper line is your quartile 3, or your 75th percentile, right? Right, guys? Then we define our IQR, our inter-quartile range. which is just your Q3 P75 minus P25. So that's your IQR. So yung whisker natin, yung whisker one natin will be, that's your quartile 1. Lagyan natin itong length. Length of whisker 1 will be your quartile 1 minus 1.5 times IQ. Okay, and then the length of whisker 2, yung upper to, no? Ito yung lower. This is your quartile 3 minus 1.5 times. Okay. So ito guys, yung ano natin yung box and whisker plot or it's a box plot. Quartile 1, quartile 2, which is your median, quartile 3. This whisker here, okay, this is yung pinaka-lowest dito guys, ito. This is your quartile 1 minus, this is 1.5 times IQR. Ito naman, 1.5 times IQR plus quartile 3. Dinagdag natin. Same, notice guys, equal yan. Equal yung length na yan. That's 1.5 times IQR. Okay, what are these dots here? What are these dots? Ano yung mga dots niyan, guys? Those are your
Outliers.
outliers. Okay, correct. Those are your outliers. Yung mga points na yan, yung outside, yung ano natin, yung range na 1.5, yung quartile 3 plus 1.5 times IQR. Ito naman, quartile 1 minus 1.5 times IQR. So those are the outliers. Pag dumating kayo sa regression, guys, sa statistical analysis called regression, importante na titingnan yung mga outliers yan kasi nakakagulo sa ano yan sa statistical analysis. Okay? So any questions so far, guys? So you can use this.
Sir.
Okay, pwede rin natin gamitin to. Ito, pwede nating i-plot without having to convert yung kasi nag-convert muna tayo dito, di ba? Dito, kinonvert natin as factor. We can skip that step and just directly i-convert si month as a factor. Okay, so medyo naka-explain din dito, no? Yung gitna dito, guys, gitna na to, ito, yung gitna na to. Okay, this means that this accounts for 50% of your data. Okay, 50% ng data natin andi dito. If you take a look at this, yung median ng July, ito yung mga maiinit na months, ano? Yung July, tapos pati si June at saka si August. Okay? Tapos may mga outliers dito kay July, medyo may mga tataas na mga more than 100, yung degree Fahrenheit, medyo matataas, no? Tapos yung mga medyo cold months, yung mga dito, no? January, February din medyo, tapos si December, a little bit of November. Ang medyo maraming outliers, ito si October, no? Meron siyang mga quite hot na mga days. Tapos meron din siya mga quite relatively cold na mga days. Okay, clear so far, guys? Ikita natin dito kung ano yung mga months na matataas yung mga median. No? Yung concentration ng yung upper 50% ng month na yun. Okay, so there are some linagay ko na yung mga comments dito, guys, ano? Now, yung take note guys itong outliers na to, this is making use of the two-key method. No? Okay. Si Tukey, guys, statistician siya. Siya yung nag-invent ng yung 1.5 times IQR. Now, in others, ibang method ang ginagamit to determine the outliers. Na-discuss ba natin yan? Hindi ko maalala kung it was in your class or na-discuss ba natin, guys, yung outliers? Yung Tukey method at saka yung standardized method. Do you remember? Okay, answer natin. Ano yung dot dito, guys? Ang question, what does the dot at the bottom of the platform may correspond to? Asan si May? Ayan, guys, sino to? What's this? May outlier kay May, ano? There was one day in May na ang temperature dropped to this amount. Medyo ang layo, di ba? Kasi ang median niya andi dito mga 50, 25, mga 6, almost 60, no? Tapos karamihan nasa 80s, no? Tapos merong day nung May na halos halos 10 lang yata, no? Okay, so let's take a look at that. Okay, what does the dot at the bottom of the plot may correspond to? So, natin guys, tingnan natin kung ano to, kung ano yung month na to. So, using the weather, okay, weather data frame, i-pipe natin, filter natin si month is equal to 5 and temperature less than 25. Less than 25 kasi, ito gusto natin malaman kung, ito yun, no? Less than 25 yan eh. Sige, i-run natin yan. Let's run that. And asan siya? Month, yun, 13.1, no? 13.1. So that temperature is 13.1. Okay, so nung month ng May, nagkaroon ng isang day na that was, ayun, no, May 8, no? On May 8, nagkaroon ng temperature na 13.1. It dropped down. Quite unusual kasi medyo malayo siya dun sa May, sa median na mga 60, no? So parang freak of nature, ano? Alright, so tapos, okay. Which is the highest variability, guys, in temperature? Ano yung may highest na variability? Saan kaya dito may mga matataas sa variability, guys? Which months here? Anyone? Yung may matataas, guys, ang variability, yung may mahaba yung mahaba yung buong box and whisker plot, tapos may mga outlier pa. Take a look at this. Si October, medyo mahaba siya, may mga outliers pa. So, yan ang example ng mataas yung variability. Pati even December, a bit, no? And January. So, but I think ang nanguna talaga si January at saka si October. But that can also be shown, guys, by the summary function. Makikita natin sa summary function. Okay? So, okay, last. Note nga lang dito, guys, box plots provide a simple way to identify outliers. Okay. Now, yung last, guys, baka hindi natin tapusin to, pero I would, guys, that you read through this. Simple lang naman to. But let me try to see hanggang saan tayo aabot, no? Ano naman yung bar plots, guys? Bar plots, ginagamit natin yan para ipakita yung distribution ng categorical variable. Si box plot, numerical. Si bar plot, categorical. Okay, unlike both histograms and box plots, okay, box plots, no? Box plots which are used to visualize numerical variables. Si bar plot, categorical lang siya. Si bar plot, hindi tayo nag-find named range yan. Hindi kinocompute dyan yung mean, median, yung first quartile, hindi pa pwede. Kasi nga, categorical yung mga yan eh. No? Okay, so bar plots or bar charts. So dalawang pwede natin gamitin, si geom bar or geom column. Okay, let's have an example. Okay, again, yung ano natin, yung flights natin, yung flights data natin. Okay, sa flights guys, tingnan natin flights, asan na si flights natin? Let me just access si flights. Di ba, andyan dyan si carrier? Flights. Yan, andyan si carrier, oh. Ito. So, anong klaseng data to, guys? Anong klaseng data? Categorical yan. No? So, pag categorical, kung gusto natin i-plot yan, kung gusto natin bilangan ilang United Airlines, ilang Alaska Airlines, etc. No? We don't use a box plot. What we use is a bar plot or a bar graph. Yun ang gagamitin natin. So, balik tayo dito. So, let's take a look at this. So, ggplot from the flights data frame, ang X natin carrier, okay, tapos geom bar. What happens here? Yan guys, see? It's now a plot of your different carriers, tapos yung count nila, yung frequency. So here it turns out that United Airlines has the most flights to and from New York City. No? United ang pinakamaraming linilipad sa New York City. Okay, now, what happens if we run this instead? Tingnan natin to. No? Same data. Ang mapping natin, take a look at this. Y is equal to number. Ang X natin si carrier, tapos Y daw, number, plus geom column. Let's see what happens. Okay, ano nangyari? What happened here, guys? Kasi pwedeng geom column or geom bar. Yan, geom bar. Okay, so in this, guys, mali yung ano natin, no? Mali yung data natin. Bakit? Bakit, guys? Okay, it has something to do with this y is equal to number. So, i-ano ko na lang kasi time na, no? I-fast forward ko na lang ng konti. Okay? Hindi ko pala nasulat dito yung ano, yung hindi ko nasulat dito yung correct na code. Isasend ko to guys, tapos ilalagay ko na lang dito yung tamang code for this, no? Kasi in the interest of time. All right, now one last comment. Guys, may I have an extension of 2 minutes? Okay lang ba? Para matapos na natin to, para hindi na mabitin, no? Okay lang? May I have your permission?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. 2 minutes lang, 2 minutes lang. So guys, isang i-avoid na plotting, guys, yung pie charts. Napaka-deceitful ng pie charts. So, there's this book by Naomi Robbins ng 2013, Creating More Effective Graphs. Ang sabi niya, tayo daw as humans, mahina tayo sa pag-ano ng mga pie charts, no? We overestimate angles greater than 90 degrees and we underestimate angles less than 90 degrees. So hindi tayo katulad ng mga mata ng mga pusa o ng mga other animals na very astute yung faculty ng depth, no? Tayo mahina tayo doon. Hindi natin nakikita yung relative size. Marami example guys sa internet. You can surf the net kung ano yung disadvantage ng using a pie chart. Now, bar plots may also be used to visualize the joint distribution of two categorical data. No? So remember, ang bar plots, guys, pang categorical lang yan. No? So ito, example to. No? Okay, GG plot, flights ulit. So si X carrier, tapos, tingnan nyo to. If you fill by origin, okay, and G yung bar. So let's run this. Okay. Tingnan nyo, guys. Ano nangyari? Remember, guys, yung origin natin tatlo. So pwede natin gawin na yung pa rin yung plot natin, yung carrier pa rin, pero gawa niya ng distinction among the three carriers, among the three origins. So for example, kung tingnan natin to, ito, again, back to United Airlines. This amount came from LaGuardia, this amount came from JFK, and this amount came from Newark. So we noticed that si United Airlines, mas maraming flights sila ang nagagaling kay Newark. While on the other hand, B6, whatever this is, no, mas maraming flights sila ang nanggagaling kay JFK. Okay, so iba-iba, no? Si 9E, okay, mas maraming flights siya galing kay JFK, etc. So by including this facet, yung field is equal to origin, makikita natin na yung field ng ano natin ng carrier binago, parang sinegmentize niya. Okay? Ang tawag dyan, guys, stacked bar plot. Okay? Stacked bar plot. All right, and then next, guys, I leave you guys for you to run this. I-run ko na lang para makita natin. Okay? So it's another way to present your data. Okay, parehong color pero yung lines ang binago. Tapos ito naman, okay, naggumamit ng Dodge. Okay? So ibig sabihin, plinat niya separately. Okay? Plinat niya separately yung iba't ibang bar plots for the different origins. Okay? So okay, I think that's okay for now. So paki-run na lang, guys, ito, tapos madali naman maintindihan yan. I leave you to run the last two codes there. Okay, so we'll have our first quiz, guys, on Wednesday. Tapos we'll start exactly on time. Please come on time or come before time so that you have a little we can start the quiz at 9:10 para medyo may bonus time kayo to do the quiz. All right? So I hope you learned something today. Thank you very much, guys. I'll see you on Wednesday for your quiz, and it will cover up to hanggang dito sa 5 name graphs natin. Okay, thank you. God bless and take care.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, guys. Salamat.